The prospect for peace in Mindanao is almost certain with the signing of the wealth sharing agreement by the government and MILF panels in Kuala Lumpur over the weekend. And joining us tonight on the line is the government's chief negotiator, Ms. Mirriam Ferrer. Good evening, ma'am, and welcome to NewsLife.
Good evening to everyone.
Ma'am, can you enlighten our people what the wealth sharing agreement is all about and what is the 75% share in taxes and earnings to be given to the new Bangsamoro entity?
The sharing agreement provides the different elements that will be part of the fiscal arrangement for the new Bangsamoro political entity. It has sections with regards to taxing powers that will be enjoyed by the Bangsamoro government and defines all sorts of other sources of revenues, including, of course, from shares in national tax collections, which is at 75-25, an improvement from the current arrangement with the ARM at 70-30. It also provides for other activities that the Bangsamoro can undertake in order to generate the needed revenues and allow them to basically not be too dependent on central government fund transfers. With regards to the sharing of energy, of natural resources, there are three items there delineating the type of natural resource. So what is stated in the annex is that for revenues, government revenues from metallic minerals, 75% goes to the Bangsamoro and 25% goes to the central government, whereas for fossil fuels like petroleum, coal, and natural gas, the sharing shall be equal, 50-50, on a 50-50 ratio.
Ma'am, since this station, will this be submitted to Congress, particularly the House, for its consideration?
Everything on the annex, the understanding is that it's a guide for the kinds of aspirations and elements that we will work on, that will be put, we will work to sort of ensure that it will be included in the basic law. So we do have a transition commission that will take the first crack at writing a draft Bangsamoro basic law, and the transition commission will submit its draft to Congress, and Congress will have to undertake its own legislative process. But what we're saying here is that we will do everything that we would need to do in order to get that kind of a law come out, which will satisfy the, the...
Ma'am? Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, with regards to the funds to be collected, who will determine how it will be allocated?
The sharing formula provides for that determination as to revenues, government revenues collected from these different sources. I think what we're saying here, for instance, with regards to metallic minerals, under a mineral production sharing arrangement, the government income is the 2% excise tax. So from the 2%, 75% goes to the Bangsamoro and 25% goes to the central government. When it comes to energy resources, the legal regime stipulates that after the company that undertook the exploration and production activity has recovered its investments, the sharing to the government revenue will be 60% of net income. And according to the formula, of that 60%, 50% will go to the Bangsamoro and 50% will go to the central government. Or in brief, 30% of the net income go to the Bangsamoro and 30% to the central government.
Now, ma'am, after the wealth sharing agreement issue is already okayed, what other remaining issues are being tackled or should be tackled?
Well, we still have the power sharing annex and the normalization annex, and these will be complete documents in themselves. So you can imagine that there will still be quite a lot to be settled.
Now, what is the time will the final peace agreement be due for signing by the government and the MILF?
As soon as we finish the remaining two annexes, then we are ready to sign the comprehensive agreement.
Do you have a timeline on this, ma'am?
Timeline is ASAP, as soon as possible, but exactly when that will happen, you know, the dynamics of negotiation, sometimes you move fast, sometimes you move slow. It all depends on how we are able to put our heads together and agree on a common language and substance that something that we will both commit ourselves to.
Ma'am, and a final word from you. What are the next steps?
Well, we will be continuing our exchange of notes. We will be working in consultation with the different branches of government, our different cabinet secretaries who are involved in the items that are being discussed under power sharing and normalization. And we will continue to engage with our legislators, updating them on these developments and briefing them, and also soliciting their ideas and concerns so that we can take this into account when we go back to face our negotiating partner.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much, ma'am, for joining us. NewsLife. That was Ms. Mirriam Ferrer, the government's chief negotiator in the ongoing peace talks between the government and the MILF. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.